Hey, I'm Tommy Gibbs, and in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you how you can put a process in play that will help you manage the aging of used cars so you never have an aging problem. It will not only improve volume, but it will improve gross. It may take you a couple of months to get it all sorted out, but I can promise you it will work. Before I get started on the information, do me a favor, hit the like button, leave a comment. If you don't like something I have to say, go ahead and put it down there. Be negative. I don't care. I'll address it either as a comment back to you, or I'll do another video on it later to try to clear things up. And do me a big favor. Hit the subscribe button and subscribe to my channel. I do a new video every week. I'm giving you a lot of free content, a lot of good content that will help you and your team manage your used car operation. So here we go. I'm going to talk about what I call life cycle management. There's no better way for you to take control of your hot mess than utilizing life cycle management. So what I mean by that? Life cycle management simply means from the day the car comes in inventory to the day it leaves. The problem in the business is we often treat all used cars the same, and they're not the same. I'll guarantee you've heard the saying, or you've used the saying that says every used car must stand on its own. Yeah, but we don't do that. We treat them all the same. Here's what I mean. You will give all your used cars the same life cycle. Now, I suspect that one of the reasons this is intriguing to you is you've got aged units out there and you're trying to figure this mess out. So let's just play a little game. Let's play the game that says you actually have a discipline or process or concept in play where you don't let cars go over, let's say, 60 days. Okay, that's your fundamental rule, right? You ain't living by it probably, but you should be. But this will help you do it. But you're living by some 60-day rule. But the problem is you cannot mentally give all used cars 60 days because they don't all deserve 60 days. Some used cars, see if you can agree with this, some used cars are more problematic than others. And the problem is we don't identify those problems early in the life cycle of the car. You know, if you take a look at your used car inventory right now, right this minute, look at your oldest used cars in stock and throw those out where you got a title issue or it's got a super parts delay. Put that kind of to the side for me. I'm talking about a used car in your inventory that we would classify as it's been through a pretty normal cycle. Look at your oldest used cars in stock and ask yourself, why is it still there? Why do you still have it? Why haven't you sold it? And whatever you come up with, I can almost guarantee you that whatever that issue is, it was present on day one and you and your team ignored that issue. In other words, if you bought a car at the auction, if you were to say, well, if you were to say, this car, we bought it at the auction, that's why it's still here, we paid too much for it. Hello? If you bought it at the auction, you know you bought it at the auction. You know that an auction purchase car is problematic. You know that it's tough to make money on them. Why is it still there? You should have shortened the life cycle on it. I'll come back to that in a second, but you should have shortened the life cycle on it. Give you another example. Maybe you overappraised a car. So you would say, you know, we put too much money in the car from Jump Street. You might say, you know, it's really a bad color. You know, it's just a horrible color. My question to you is, what day is a car a bad color on? Is it a bad color on day 61 or day one? I mean, I guess in theory it was a beautiful color on day one, but you decided to paint it a crappy color somewhere along the way, and so they had 61 days old. Now we know that's kind of silly. I'm being foolish or silliness on my part, but the bottom line is it was a bad color on day one, but you ignored it. So on those cars that are problematic, it might be a bad equipment mix. It might be whatever. If you identify that on day one during the course of the trade walk, if you identify it and you shorten the life cycle of the car, meaning there might be some cars you give 30 days to, some cars you give 45 days to, some cars you give 60 days to. The goal or objective is to find a retail buyer before it hits its end of its life cycle. So if you gave a car 30 days, maybe it's an auction purchase car, your goal or objective is to do what? Find a retail buyer at some number. I'm always fascinated that when I'm having conversations with dealers and they have aged units, and they'll say to me, well, you know, Tommy, we've got this car priced number one in the market, but we just haven't sold it yet. My rebuttal to that is, I don't care if you do have it priced number one in the market. That doesn't mean a thing. All that means is you got it priced number one in the market. It doesn't mean you priced it at a price point where someone's willing to come in and take it off your hands. Yeah, that's the deal. So the problem with everything you got going on right now, if you have any type of aging problems or cars you can't sell, the problem with that is you just haven't reached a price that someone's willing to pay for it. I don't like using profanity, but I shall because I can do it because I just can. I'm at that age where I can do it. There's an ass for every seat. And you just haven't found the right ass for that seat yet because you haven't been willing to price the car right. So now let's regress a moment. If you would put life cycle management in play and make sure that you identify your problematic cars on day one and get those cars sold faster, your grosses will go up. Your average gross will go up, no doubt. The reason for that is because you're not selling cars late in the life cycle at 60 and 75 and 90 days. Those cars drag your average down. Look, I understand the pandemic was a gift for you. You could sell anything at 75 or 90 days and make 4 or 5 grand. Hello, that ain't normal. That ain't a good business practice. Those dealers that used life cycle management, even during the pandemic, when you were rocking and rolling, sell everything you could sell, those dealers made more money because they utilized life cycle management. So my suggestion to you, if you want to get your hot mess squared away, that you put life cycle management in play. I have software for that. I'm not trying to really sell you software. Here's a video right here that will explain that to you, but this video is not about software. You don't actually need software to do what I'm talking about. What you need to do is to have the discipline. You need to have the discipline to put into play to make sure that you identify those problematic units on day one. If you do that, they will never see day 61 and you'll never have a used car over 60 days old. And your used car operation will have one of the most powerful disciplines and processes you could ever put in play. Do me a favor, hit the like button, leave a comment, hit the subscribe button, and check this video out that I mentioned a second ago that is finally up here. Hey, thanks for watching the video and have a great day.